Good afternoon. I've been the senior responsible owner for SKYNET, for the UK Ministry of Defence, for just over a year now. I came to this conference last year in my first week in role, and I want to spend a few minutes talking to you about, I guess, the single biggest challenge I faced in that time. We've heard a lot today about hybrid networks, about the importance of hybrid networks to improve resilience and in the face of an increasing threat environment. And we briefed here last year about the future of SKYNET as a multi-band, multi-orbit hybrid network that seamlessly integrates capability from allies and from commercial partners as well, alongside our sovereign capability. I'm looking for your help in identifying the most effective, tangible actions to move to that vision for SKYNET. Given the many decades of experience in this room, I'm hoping I might get some answers to those challenges. I'm going to provide you with some context and a quick status update on SKYNET. I'm going to make some specific asks of you for your help, and I'm going to talk to you about our new commercial approach as well to deliver a hybrid network. I'm just going to grab the clip. So first, a quick summary of the current status of SKYNET. In spring last year, we ended a 20-year PFI and brought back into government ownership the infrastructure associated with SKYNET 5. The contract called the Service Delivery App started, led by a consortium called Team Aurora, most of whom are in this room today, providing support to our existing ground segment and some of our deployed user infrastructure as well. The performance on that arrangement has been good. We've maintained a good continuity of service. On SKYNET 6, the first satellite in the SKYNET 6 fleet, SKYNET 6A, is under build with Airbus, with entry into service anticipated in 2027. The next SKYNET 6 satellite will be our UHF satellite. We're just finishing final contract action there, and the SKYNET the UHF satellite will enter into service in 2028. Following that, we're launching up to 3 wideband satellites, the first which will enter in service in 2030. In the user segment, we've just awarded a contract for our future protected modem, and we're running competitions for our next generation land and maritime terminals. The objective of SKYNET is to provide UK MOD with assured freedom of action. SKYNET 6 needs to provide command and control links and the information advantage required to sustain UK forces engaged in operations worldwide and to ensure delivery of our defence outcomes at any level of crisis and conflict. You'll be aware of the changing threat environment to our space-based capability. If you're not, Clint is following me, and I'm sure will provide, as always, a very engaging overview. The world is increasingly uncertain. Our adversaries operate in ever unpredictable ways. Some of our allies, too. Our strategy to deliver amidst these threats is a holistic approach to mission assurance, including access, availability, and resilience across all elements of the system. Our SKYNET service, then, is made up of 3 pillars, which corresponds to the own Collaborate Access framework that you'll have heard us brief previously. Own, a hardened, robust, highly assured core provided by our sovereign SKYNET geostationary spacecraft. Access, Collaborate, space SATCOM services from our allies provided under reciprocal agreements or MOUs. And access, cost-effective commercial services provided by our commercial partners. But the nature of the threat environment means that even our highly assured links need to be agile. We're in the age of information maneuver warfare. Maintaining our quality of service in the face of heavy jamming and other threats means that we need to implement self-optimizing, self-healing link configurations, which will increasingly mean multiple links to move and reconfigure traffic in an agile fashion. And we need to be smart about doing this. Offloading traffic from a jammed transponder may need to be obfuscated. And we can use smarter waveforms that coexist with other traffic in the same bandwidth if we can manage it correctly. So in SATCOM, this information maneuver warfare requires our services to be agile, exploiting a hybrid architecture, as others have mentioned already today. Hybrid is sometimes a shorthand for multi-orbit. For us, it's more than that. It does mean multi-orbit with services in LEO, MEO, HEO, and GEO. It means multiple satellites. It also means multiple bands, multiple links. It means multiple ground stations. It means multiple system operators. We understand that introducing a hybrid architecture for SKYNET 6 isn't just about alternative communication paths providing redundancy. More importantly, it's about orchestrating these links, the agile reconfiguration of links in the face of threats, which is a vital element of delivering a resilient hybrid network. And that's going to need collaborative and largely automated exchange of network management and configuration management information to meet the needs of the respective network management systems. Military network orchestration may have additional components on top of that from commercial operators because of the nature of our threats and the nature of the security layers. And that's where we need a better dialogue if we're going to achieve that vision for SKYNET 6, and where I'm looking for your help in the tangible steps that we take next. So I'm not a deep SATCOM expert. I've been in defense my whole career, but I've been in this world for just over a year. And it appears to me that what we're trying to do for SKYNET 6 is to achieve cross-network roaming. Cell phone operators have been doing it for years. My phone can roam seamlessly between operators here in Luxembourg, and I don't even know who those operators are. The third generation partnership project has been extending those cell phone standards to include non-terrestrial networks under releases 17 and 18, to enable those NTNs to be incorporated into the 5G framework. These are intended to deliver a near seamless handover between the terrestrial and the non-terrestrial SATCOM networks. I've broken my question into three asks, which I think are just three phases of the same question. So ask one, how have those operators been implementing those 3GPP recommendations? How far off are we from actually achieving roaming for some military users? Bearing in mind that our military users are fussy. They need to obfuscate location, and not just by redacting location data, but also by limiting the handling of that data altogether. Much of the data from military users is aggregated and then encrypted. So if our quality of service standards need to be renegotiated on the fly because of a threat or because of jamming or because of compromising a node in the network, then we might find that traffic defaulting to being treated as standard, which won't be appropriate for our needs. And we need to understand how the military systems or the management systems for military networks need to interact with the management systems of our commercial partners as well. Ask two, based on the experience of operators' implementation so far, are those 3GPP standards flexible enough to cope with military network roaming? Are there extensions that need to be developed? Will this problem be fixed through these standards? And ask three, what can we start to do now? What can I start to do now? Are there any quick wins? What needs further work? I've heard very different messages from lots of people in this room about how effectively the commercial market would address it, given volume, limited volume for military users. What else could government do to help? So I'm going to leave those questions with you. I do want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the commercial approach we're taking to achieve this hybrid vision. So those of you who have supplied into the Ministry of Defence of the past few years may have noticed the drawn-out nature of our procurement processes. We've been doing a lot to transform how we procure space capability, particularly through the enterprise space category approach, which is bringing all of the UK government's procurement on space into a single approach. Satcom, though, needs a more focused strategy, and the SKYNET 6 integrated enterprise solution, SKYS, will transform the way in which MOD delivers across the whole Satcom enterprise, through life, and across the different defence lines of development. As part of that, we're looking to establish a collaborative relationship with industry that will give us much more flexibility around procurement with different routes to market, different options for resourcing by outsourcing some of our management functions, and continuity from our ground services as well, as this arrangement is going to take over from the current SDW arrangement. It's currently planned for 2028, but again, we're looking to see how we can bring forward some of that activity and deliver some early wins. It's all to play for. At the right of ARC, we might look at an arm's length body from the MOD that delivers our Satcom enterprise. And I'm really keen to hear your feedback on that. So I don't think we've got time for questions, but what I'm really interested in is answers to my questions, either here or over a glass of wine later. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening.